To the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. I don't discriminate, boy, I bring it to your chest. If you oppose, then your soul will decompose. Strive to get money and I'm not no...
Hello, I'm Miguel, the Nomad Barber. This is just a quick tutorial to explain how to utilize your clipper guards properly for new barbers, hairdressers who are getting into barbering, or just generally. I'm just going to be explaining how to go, down from a 4 to a 1 basically. I know not everyone uses clipper guards, so it's not aimed at those people and there's no right or wrong way. So just explaining the rules between, going down through the grades and the things you should and shouldn't do. So I'm going to start with a number 4. And basically, the things you've got to realize is that basically a 3 will go into a 4 without, much effort. A 2 will go into a 3 without much effort. But once you get down to the 1 going into a 2, you can't just go straight in. You will leave a line basically. So starting on the sides, basically always shaving up to sort of the temple area. You can use your comb to sort of help you stop where you want to go. It just helps create that even line going all the way around. The reason you'd also almost go from a 4 to a 3 for new barbers is it kind of helps you, not make mistakes. So it's much easier to blend the 4 into the top of the hair. Like if you started with a number 2, if you wanted a 2 on the back and side, you'd start with a 3. It just makes it a little bit easier for blending, especially when you first start out. So just as an example, you put your number 4 in. It's going to be very easy to blend that out, scissor or clipper over comb. I mean, depending on where you are in your training. But if you go down to a 3, the 3 is gonna, as long as you don't want to be, never want to be going in flat onto the head. When you blend it into a number higher, you kind of want to come in and out. And the 3 will almost go into the 4 without much effort. You almost want to just stop just a little bit below where you went with the 4. And even if you did a 3 on the side, so you'd go down to a 2. It depends what grade you are going to be doing. What's the final, length on the side. You could start with a 2.5, so open the arm a little bit. Just sort of flick into that 3. And then close it. And then do the 2. So by having that 3 just a little bit higher and then doing the 2, it kind of just makes it a little bit easier to blend in. So if someone asks for, say, a 1 on the sides, so I'd always go in, create my line with a 2 up here. So when you're going from a 2 to, say, a 1 on the sides, it gets a little bit trickier, especially when you first started. When I first started, I found it really difficult. So get me number 1 on. Give a little brush off. Always keep your work area tidy. It just makes it easier to see what you're doing. So you do 1.5. And you don't want to go higher than where you already put the number 2. Otherwise you're just creating more mistakes, and you've probably had this where you end up just going higher and higher and higher and higher. So you can even stretch the skin a little bit, and you almost come in, you can even come in and just flick out, almost like on this sort of angle, the 1.5 into the 2. Never going as high as the line where you put the 2 in. Or if you want as well, you can also almost rub it. Just coming off the head, never going straight in. If you go straight in, you're just going to create more lines. So once that 1.5's done, into the 2, you can just flip down to the 1, And it should be fairly easy to just put the one in. Remembering where you've done the 1.5 up to, and then just don't go higher than that. When you are working, obviously I haven't gone round to the back, just make sure you go all the way around, just finish one thing before you go on to the next. Just keep your work as clean as possible and it'll just make it so much easier to do. But the same sort of theory as be, you know, works on all sides of the head, back, sides. And as you get better, you know, obviously you'll be able to move your clippers a bit faster. I know you watch tutorials and you see people just going, you can't really see what they're doing, but it's kind of, it's become second nature that you're flipping between your, you know, your open guard and your closed guard just to do the little finishing touches. So with that side done, you get the sort of idea how I'd do it all the way around, and I'll just show you how I would blend it in. Clipper over comb. So I use my big comb. Basically, you know, the blade sort of fits the comb perfectly, so like it's harder to make mistakes. So the same sort of theory works behind the scissor over comb as clipper over comb. So you want to get like a guide in there first. So I go up off the head and I'll take what I think needs to come off and I'll come down. I can see the little bits of hair where there's a guide and I'll follow that and down again and I'll slowly just sort of move up. And then when it gets to this point, I know that this comb basically is like a number 2. So I can just go over, touch it up a little bit. And now my guide's in there, I just find it easier just to do the clipper over comb. Practice makes perfect with the clipper over comb. Like a lot of people see it and they're like, whoa, what are you doing? I actually use it a lot more than scissor over comb these days. I find it just makes me work a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner. But I tend to always just touch up a little with the scissors anyway after. So. So basic rules, the 3 basically goes into a 4, just don't go too flat into the head. This is basically the easiest way to blend. And then if you wanted, you know, there's now these genius half guards which have only just come out in the past couple of years, and for the finishing touches, obviously you always taper out the edges, so you don't have to go all the way down to a half, but you can sort of do in between. This is all done with just a super taper. You know, it's a workhorse clipper, which, you know, it's probably the most available clipper around the world. Asia, you know, over Australia way, everyone's got the super tapers. They kind of work. Regardless, you know, you don't always need 20 clippers to do a simple job like this, you know. Then I always line out with the detailers, just find them really nice and sharp. Oh, crazy shape ups. You know, I always tend to leave the hairlines as natural as possible. I really do like the American style of shaping out and stuff like that, but it's not, you know, it's not really used that much over here. So I just try and keep it as natural as possible. never going into the hairline too much. I just find that it just grows out a little bit nicer. You won't grow back with like stubbly bits. Just come down, keep the neckline nice and wide. I never really square the neck off, just keep it nice and tapered. And now I'll show you how to do the rest of the haircut. So I hope you liked the video. This is just explaining, you know, the basic rules behind the clipper guards. If you want to see me cut the top into a short, choppy textured style using my scissors, just click on the next video. Follow me on Instagram and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you.